Welcome to Life Stories, where each journey unfolds into a tapestry of transformation and heartfelt discovery. Today, I invite you to step into a world where detours lead to profound self realizations and unexpected connections redefine success. In this story, a high powered executive finds his true self in the unhurried embrace of a quaint town and the gentle wisdom of a stranger. If you're ready to explore the beauty of genuine human experiences and the art of letting go, please subscribe to our channel to start today's story. Join our community and let every tale inspire you to live more authentically. I still remember that day as if it were etched in slow motion. I, Alex Carter, a CEO who had spent years chasing success and accolades, found myself in a state of disquiet that no amount of wealth or professional triumph could ease. The morning had begun like any other, rushing out of my high-rise apartment, checking my calendar, and juggling a series of endless calls and emails. Yet, beneath the veneer of my meticulously planned life, I felt an emptiness that I had long ignored. I was on my way to yet another high-stakes business meeting when, in the usual flurry of activity, I boarded the wrong train. Instead of the sleek, modern express that I had come to rely on, I found myself on an old, almost forgotten vintage train. Its wooden paneling and faded seats evoked a sense of nostalgia that clashed dramatically with my usual environment. As the train started its slow, clattering journey through the countryside, a peculiar feeling began to settle in my chest, a blend of anxiety and an unanticipated calm. The rhythmic, almost hypnotic sound of the train wheels on the tracks allowed my mind to wander freely. I began to notice the beauty of the passing landscape. Rolling fields bathed in soft morning light, small clusters of trees standing like silent sentinels, and distant hills that seemed to whisper tales of simpler times. It was a stark contrast to the concrete jungles I was accustomed to, where every minute was a battle against time and every moment an opportunity or a crisis waiting to unfold. With every passing mile, I felt the weight of my responsibilities begin to ease. The incessant pressure to succeed, to be always on, to control every minute detail of my existence, started to dissolve into the rhythmic hum of the train. Yet, as I allowed myself this rare moment of vulnerability, a sense of unease crept in. I realized I had no recollection of booking this route or even intending to travel this far. Questions flooded my mind. Where exactly was I headed? Was this a mere mistake? Or had fate intervened in my life, urging me to slow down and reconsider my relentless pursuit of success? After what felt like hours of introspection, the train finally came to a halt at a small station. I stepped off, feeling the abrupt silence of a place that seemed untouched by the frantic pace of modern life. The station, nestled in a quaint town called Maple Grove, was like stepping into a different world, a world where time appeared to slow down, and every face carried a gentle, welcoming expression. The cobblestone streets, the soft glow of antique street lamps, and the faint aroma of freshly baked bread from a nearby bakery all invited me to pause and reflect. In that moment of unexpected stillness, the chaos of my former life felt like a distant memory. I was a man who had built an empire, yet I had long forgotten the simple joy of living without a plan, the pleasure of embracing uncertainty, and the value of genuine human connection. Here in Maple Grove, amidst the serene backdrop of a forgotten era, I began to sense the stirrings of something profound. The wrong train, the unplanned detour, it was as if the universe had conspired to deliver me to a place where I could rediscover who I truly was, beneath all the titles and achievements. As I stood there, feeling the cool breeze and absorbing the quiet charm of this small town, a quiet revolution was already taking root in my heart. Little did I know that this detour, this seemingly trivial mistake, would be the beginning of a journey toward love, empathy, and the rediscovery of life's true meaning. And as the echoes of the train's departure faded away behind me, I took my first tentative step into a new chapter, one where success was measured not in profits and power, but in moments of genuine connection and heartfelt simplicity. The town of Maple Grove exuded an unhurried charm that was both enchanting and unfamiliar. Wandering through its narrow streets, I couldn't help but feel like an intruder in a world where time was savored rather than squandered. The simplicity of it all, gentle laughter, genuine smiles, and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee drifting from local cafes, began to chip away at the rigid walls I had built around myself. As I ambled toward a small square, my thoughts swirled with questions about my abrupt detour from a life governed by numbers and deadlines. That's when I saw her. Standing casually near a vintage lamppost was Olivia, a woman whose presence radiated an unassuming warmth that immediately put me at ease. Her eyes, a clear shade of blue, held a depth that seemed to mirror the quiet wisdom of the town itself. For a moment, the clamor of my inner turmoil was replaced by a serene curiosity about this stranger who appeared to belong so effortlessly in this tranquil place. "Excuse me," I called out, my voice sounding more tentative than I had ever intended. "Could you help me? I'm not really sure where I am." The words felt strange coming from my lips, as if they belonged to someone unaccustomed to vulnerability. Olivia turned toward me with a gentle smile that lit up her face. "You look lost," she replied, her tone warm and reassuring. There was no hint of condescension, only genuine care. It was as if she understood the unspoken burdens of a man who had always been on the run. In that moment, I realized that this unexpected encounter was a lifeline. Over a cup of hot chocolate at a modest, welcoming cafe, we talked at length. Olivia spoke of Maple Grove with a passion that belied its size. She described the town's history, the slow cadence of life, and the beauty of every ordinary moment that many tend to overlook. As she spoke, I found myself opening up in ways I never had before. I recounted the relentless pressures of my corporate world, the ceaseless meetings, the constant need to prove myself, and the underlying loneliness that gnawed at my soul despite all my material successes. Her responses were neither judgmental nor overly sympathetic. They were simply honest and reflective. "Sometimes," Olivia mused, "we get so caught up in what we're supposed to achieve that we forget to live. Maybe being lost isn't such a bad thing. It might just be the universe's way of telling us to slow down and see what really matters." Her words resonated with a deep truth that I had long ignored. In the dim light of the cafe, I saw a reflection of the man I used to be, a man who once believed in the beauty of spontaneity and heartfelt connections. As the conversation deepened, I began to see that my misadventure was more than just a logistical error. It was an invitation to rediscover life's simple joys. In Olivia's calm and unpretentious manner, I recognized a mirror of the authenticity I had lost. With every shared laugh and every contemplative silence, the city's relentless pace faded further into memory. In its place blossomed a newfound perspective, a perspective that valued empathy, genuine connection, and the beauty of living in the moment. As the days in Maple Grove unfolded, I found myself slowly shedding the layers of my former life. The quaint rhythms of this town had a profound effect on me. Mornings began with gentle sunlight and the soft murmur of neighbors greeting each other on the streets, a stark contrast to the cacophony of city life I had grown so accustomed to. Olivia, with her steady warmth and genuine curiosity, became both a guide and a mirror, reflecting back to me a version myself I had long buried beneath boardroom strategies and relentless schedules. One crisp morning, as we strolled along a tree-lined avenue, Olivia paused to admire a weathered mural on the side of an old building. "Every mark on that wall tells a story," she said softly. In that moment, I realized how much I had missed the art of simply observing life. I began to understand that every ordinary detail held meaning, a lesson in resilience, beauty, and the passage of time. That simple observation sparked a deeper introspection within me. Perhaps true success wasn't about the grandeur of achievements, but rather about cherishing the little moments that wove together the fabric of a fulfilling life. Our conversations grew more intimate as days turned into nights, filled with shared confidences over steaming cups of hot chocolate and long walks under a star-flecked sky. I confessed the loneliness that often lurked behind my corporate facade, the isolation that came with constantly projecting an image of unwavering confidence and control. Olivia listened with an openness that disarmed my fears. You don't have to be that man all the time, she encouraged gently. Sometimes, letting go and embracing the moment is the bravest thing you can do. Her words were a balm to a spirit long parched by the endless demands of my previous world. I started to question the very metrics by which I had defined my life. The boardroom victories, the financial milestones, the relentless chase after more. Here, in the unhurried embrace of Maple Grove, I discovered that real fulfillment lay in authenticity, empathy, and the quiet beauty of connection. I began to see that being vulnerable was not a weakness, but rather a doorway to a richer, more nuanced existence. One evening, as the town gathered for a humble festival in a small park, I stood at the edge of a softly lit pond, watching reflections ripple across its surface. The serenity of that moment, punctuated by the laughter of children and the gentle strumming of a street performer's guitar, stirred something deep within me. I felt an overwhelming sense of liberation, a release from the need to constantly measure my worth in dollars and deals. I realized that life's true treasures were found in the tender exchange of smiles, in the shared silence between two souls, and in the courage to reimagine what it meant to be happy. In Maple Grove, amid its timeless charm and under Olivia's sincere influence, I had begun to reconstruct my identity. I was no longer defined solely by the successes of my past, but by the capacity to love, to feel, and to connect on a profoundly human level. As I embraced this simpler way of living, I knew that the journey ahead was not about returning to the old life, but about forging a new path, a path illuminated by the quiet wisdom of everyday moments and the transformative power of genuine human connection. As the soft glow of dusk embraced Maple Grove, I realized that my journey had transformed more than just my surroundings. It had transformed me. In those quiet moments of reflection, I understood that success is no longer defined by corporate victories or endless deadlines, but by the simple, authentic connections we make along the way. The unplanned detour, the chance encounter with Olivia, and the serene beauty of a small town had all conspired to remind me of what truly matters in life: love, empathy, and the courage to embrace our vulnerabilities. Now, as I sit by a gently rippling pond, with the stars beginning to peek through the twilight, I feel a deep sense of peace. I have learned to let go of the relentless pursuit of external validation and instead treasure the moments that bring genuine joy. The laughter shared with strangers, the quiet conversations over a cup of hot chocolate, and the unspoken bond between two souls have all redefined my understanding of fulfillment. This journey has been a profound reminder that sometimes getting lost is exactly what we need to rediscover ourselves. It is in the unexpected moments, the detours, and the simple acts of kindness that we find our true purpose. Thank you for joining me on this life-changing adventure. If my story resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to follow new life stories. Your support not only fuels our passion to share these transformative experiences, but also helps us build a community where every detour is seen as an opportunity for growth and love. Stay inspired, stay true, and remember, sometimes the best path is the one you never planned.